I'm JD Redmond, and you're tuned in to the Offense Defense Sports Report. Today, we're excited to be giving you the latest information on OD camps and combines. With 40 locations across the United States, a new high school curriculum, and player evaluations, OD has prepared an exceptional football experience for camp this summer. We will talk with OD Operations Manager Artie Gigantino to get an update on what campers can expect. OD player development and evaluation camps are in full swing. This past weekend, offense-defense was in the City of Heat, Miami, Florida, for another football skills assessment and training event. We'll take a look at the OD Next Level Youth Combine, what makes it one of the most sought-after events of the spring, and how you can sign up for a player development camp near you. We'll be right back with all this and more on the OD Sports Report after this. Welcome back to the OD Sports Report. I'm joined by Offense Defense very own Artie Gigantino. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, JD? What's going on, man?
It's good to see you. Coach, Offense Defense has been in the camp business for over 40 years. How does it continue to improve each year?
Well, you know, I think if you look at the history of offense defense, it started a long time ago with one camp, and then it went to two camps. And about 14 years ago, when ownership changed, it went to an expanding variety of camps from 10 to 20 to now we're around 35 to 40, depending on how the chips fall at the end of the spring here. But I think the best thing we've done is be very consistent in terms of this is a full contact camp. Now, that being said, you can't rest on your laurels forever either, JD. So one of the things we've done this year is implement a new high school program. And this is a program that is being utilized to encourage high school coaches to send their kids to offense-defense camps in the summer, but also supply a training ground for the type of training that they're going to get when they go to the next level, whether it be the high school senior level or a college, and then eventually on to the pros. What we're going to do this year is have what we call a Thumps program for the high school kids. The little kids from ages 7 to 14, you know, up until the 9th grade, they will be in a full contact camp as we have done in the past. But this year, for 9th graders, 10th graders, and 11th graders, kids going into those grades and kids going into 12th grade, there will be what we call a Thumps program. This will institute having youngsters come out in helmets, shoulder pads, and shorts. And we're going to do everything full speed. We're going to do everything full contact. The only thing we're not going to do this year with the Thumps program is bring the player to the ground or chop low from a blocking standpoint. This will be safer, number one. Number two, it'll teach these youngsters how to practice without going to the ground. The other thing we're going to do this year is do a much better job and continue to improve upon the evaluation process. So when you come to offense-defense camp and you're a high school player and a younger player for that matter, you're going to get a full evaluation on a piece of paper. We're going to have some type of numerical system which is going to equate a score for you and then put it into a computer and put it into a profile for you that'll be with us forever. And each year you can update it, obviously, and improve upon it. So an evaluation as well as the Thumps, I think, are the two biggest things we're trying to do this year to improve what has always been a great quality product.
Who does offense, defense recruit or invite to these camps?
Well, I mean, they're open to anybody, but, you know, obviously we would like the best players we can possibly get. This spring, we're running a series of combines around the country. We're combining with Next Level Combine Company out of Wheeling, West Virginia. And people that are kids that come to those combines and excel, we're saying, hey, we need to get you to come to our camps. Now, coming to the camps is the first step. The combine's the first step, but come to the camps is the second step. And then during the camps this summer, we're not going to have a select camp, which we've had the last couple of years. This year, we're just going to have an elite camp, and that will be in Myrtle Beach at the end of July. And again, that is by invitation only. And then from there, you might be selected to our All-Star game, again, here in Myrtle Beach at the end of December. So I think it's more of a progression of things. You go to a combine. You go to the camp. You come to the elite camp, and then hopefully you're good enough to play either in the youth all-star game or the older kids' high school all-star game.
What do these young athletes need to know to be prepared for camp or combines?
Okay, well, I think when you look at you break it down into two different things. You know, there's combines for the little guys, and then there's combines for the older guys. The combines for the little kids, I think, is a way of getting them indoctrinated into what a combine is, because it's a lot of things that they haven't done before. But I think it's a perfect timing for it to do it here in the spring when you're not worried about the pressure of a football season. Most of these kids are getting into baseball now, but it's a great way for them to begin to work on the necessary skills and necessary drill type things that they're going to see later on in high school. As far as the older kids, hey, this is big business in terms of what it is for your future. We're getting some accurate numbers on you, and not only in the 40 time, but a shuttle run, the vertical jump, as well as the broad jump. And those are the gauges by which colleges and certainly the NFL people go by when they're evaluating you as a football player, not only on film, but off the field in terms of your just innate, pure skills. So those are things that I think are important, and those are things we're trying to offer in terms of putting this whole package together and making offense defense a year-round football camp and a year-round educator in terms of football.
Let's talk about the parents for a moment. What can the parents expect, or what do they need to know when it comes to getting their children prepared for a camp?
Well, I think one of the things that we don't talk enough about is expectations. Not everybody's Tom Brady. Okay? Not everybody is, Peyton Manning. You've got to be realistic and knowing that your youngsters, hey, it's going to take some time with some of them to get to that level that you want. I mean, there are stories and stories and stories of athletes that didn't start on their Pop Warner team, but yet they're playing in the National Football League right now. I mean, Tom Brady didn't start at Michigan until his senior year. So, I mean, there's a lot of stories that just the perseverance and hanging in there and all those things coaches talk about. But I think parents need to be realistic in terms of their expectations. I do know this, that camps are good. And it's a proven fact that if you come to camp and you try and you work hard, you're going to be a better football player. You're going to be a better football player in August and September if you attend our camps in June and July. I mean, that's just a fact. And we've got that documented. We've got tons and tons of tapes and films of youngsters of what they were at the beginning of camp and what they ended up being. And that's also in terms of years. I mean, we've had people that have come to the camp for 4 or 5 years, and the improvement has just been rapid. So what can you expect? You can expect to get better if you come and you try hard and you stay focused. Now, football is not for everybody. We all know that. Football's a tough game, but it's the greatest game there is. And if you can succeed in football, it's the same old thing. You get taught life skills. Well, that is absolutely true, because we've had so many players that have come through offense, defense, that are not in the NFL, that did not make a big mark in college, but ended up being outstanding citizens and are doing things that are probably more important than football for our country today. So, I think it's a never-ending cycle that we're dealing with here. So that's what parents can expect.
You talked about some of the advantages of coming to the football camps, even off of the field. Back in OD Bowl week, we spent some time with Coach Solomon, and he mentioned the advantage of being in camp. He would see the transformation of these kids from the beginning of camp to the end, and he talked about the self-esteem and the self-confidence.
I think that's a great point. And I've talked to Rich about that before. And for those of you that don't know, Rich Solomon is one of our head coaches. He's a head coach at 6 of our camps, was in the National Football League with the Giants, the Vikings, and the Cardinals for over 20 years, and just an outstanding coach and a great example, and I'm glad you brought him up, of the caliber of staff members that we have. But it is true that sometimes this can be a humbling deal, especially for a youngster that has never played the game of football before. So you come, you're a little bit shy, it takes you a little bit to get into it, but hopefully we're doing our job. And then by Tuesday, which is the 3rd day of camp, you see a little bit of a difference in the youngster. You see a difference in the bounce in his step. And then by Wednesday, I'm not saying he's going to be ready to play for the Green Bay Packers by Wednesday, but he sure as heck's going to walk around with a big smile. And believe me, from our standpoint, from a staff standpoint, to see those smiles on those kids' face on a Wednesday when their parents come to pick them up is gratifying to us all. In fact, I ran a couple camps last year, and before I came to work here in the office, I ran camps for a long time. And we would always try to take the youngster that maybe was having a hard time or struggling just a little bit and give him some type of leadership role. Like last year in Raleigh, we had a young guy who was a really good kid, but we made him run and lead the laps for the morning workout for all the kids in camp, even the older kids. And I'll tell you, it was great. It was great. And you should have seen the bounce in that guy's step at the end of camp. So, again, I think it's not just all about football. It's about the intermingling and the self-esteem, like Rich Solomon said, and also a youngster looking at himself in a different perspective and say, you know what, I don't want to say I survived, but I did well in 4 days of a tough football camp. And it's tough to go out on the field 3 times a day. So I think there's an accomplishment factor in there also that builds into the confidence and the self-esteem.
Self-esteem, character building, and camaraderie with the other
Yeah, just
players.
like you and me. We're trying to build your self-esteem here and
I appreciate
get the
that,
camaraderie
Coach, for
going here.
sure. Let's talk real briefly before we go about the venues and locations. I hear you have some exciting venues that's new to the 2011 season.
Right. Yeah, we do. And, again, we're always venturing out into areas where people have called us and, by public demand, so to speak, want to have a camp. This year we're going to Columbus, Ohio Wesleyan University. We're going to have a camp there. We're going to George Mason University in Fairfax. That's our Fairfax camp. We're going to Hofstra, where we're going to have a Long Island camp this year. So we are venturing out and looking to have new places each and every year. Now, that being said, some of our stable places and our foundation of this camp, the Atlanta camp, the Arizona camp, the New England camp, the New York camp, are still there and still at the same places. At St. John's, at Bryant, at Oglethorpe, and at, Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. So, we feel it's a good combination of the old camp and the foundation of this company, as well as sprinkling it in with some new camps. And I'll give you an example. Last year we had one new camp, and it was Raleigh, and it was an overwhelming success. Not only because North Carolina State was a great place in which to host it, which we're going back this year, but also the type of kids and the caliber of the youngsters that came to the camp, and our staff did a great job. It was a perfect combination of a new camp. And right now, Raleigh's going to be one of our biggest camps the next couple of years. So,
Well, I understand the camps are already filling up for this summer. So if you want to make sure your athlete or you secures their spot, you can log on to o-d.com and sign up today. Or you can also call the OD office at 843-903-1888 for more information. Coach, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very
Great to
much.
see you, Eddie.
After the break, we'll be right back with a look at how players performed at the OD Next Level Combine in Miami this past weekend.
Offense, defense football camps, ages 7 to 17. Over 40-plus locations across the nation. Join us this summer and learn the skills necessary to dominate the gridiron. Offense, defense football camps. The oldest and best contact camps in the country. OD.com.
I'm J.D. Redmond, and you're tuned in to the OD Sports Report. Every high school-age football player should know it takes excellent training and stellar scores to get to their next level. Offense Defense conducts high school football combines throughout the year across America. Combines have been a staple for high school athletes wanting to improve their game, gain exposure, and play college football. But OD is not just training high schoolers. They also offer top-notch youth football player development camps. With various combine drills, OD is committed to teach kids the right way to prepare for a combine. The same drills used in high school testing are also offered in the OD Next Level Youth Combines. This is a great way to prepare yourself or your young player for their next level. And it's never too early to start developing the skills needed to maximize your talent. The next Offense Defense Next Level Combine is scheduled for April 2nd and 3rd in Raleigh, North Carolina at Clayton High School. You can find more about locations, schedules, drills, and registration at o-d.com/combines.
Hi, I'm Artie Gigantino from Offense Defense Football Camp. One of our new camps this year is the Ohio Camp. This camp will take place and start on Sunday, June 26th and run to Wednesday, June 29th. It will take place at the lovely Ohio Wesleyan University in Delaware, Ohio. Now, we have adjusted for you high school students out there our curriculum this year for the situations that come up in the state of Ohio. This will not be a full contact camp for the high school players. You will wear full gear, but it will be a thumps tempo. Again, this adheres to the Ohio high school contact regulations that have been set up by the Ohio High School Federation. It's a new venture. We're excited about being there, and we're going to have a great coaching staff. I'm Artie Gigantino. See you in Ohio.
Welcome back to the Offense Defense Sports Report. Spring is approaching, and that means football camp is almost here. I urge you, don't wait and take a chance on losing your spot. The OD experience is guaranteed to last a lifetime. Camp is limited to the first 225 recruits, so to select one or more of our 43 camps, call the OD office at 843-903-1888 or visit our website at o-d.com and sign up today. With the updated curriculum and exciting evaluation assessment aspect of camp, we're expecting a standout summer football camp this season, and we invite you to experience the OD tradition. Till next time, I'm J.D. Redmond for the OD Sports Report.